Alrighty guys, it's your boy Jimmy Broadcaster here, jumping back at you with another pre-campaign yappathon for the next Xcom 2 playthrough, because it's not fully out at the time of recording this, but obviously by the time you guys see it, it'll be fully uploaded and stuff. I'm just doing this now so I don't have to do it later and stuff. But with the last campaign being done, I do want to try another Modjam playthrough, which technically is called Tedjam now, because Karuk and Illogical don't do Modjam anymore, and Tedster, another big name in the Xcom streaming community, has been keeping it alive with his own stuff. And then Rishi, another fucking member, I don't know if she streams or not, but another big name in the Xcom modding community, has been doing stuff on the side with Requiem and Beyond the Legendary and stuff like that. I really hope this isn't too freaking loud. Yeah, so it's pretty much just Modjam 2.0, Modjam reimagined, expanded and enhanced, if you will. Now, I do like Modjam. I like all of the new additions, enemies, classes, playable advent, playable aliens, all that fun stuff. But there is one thing that I have to make absolutely clear going into this playthrough. I am not good at XCOM. Alright, I'm not good at base War of the Chosen or base XCOM 2 for that matter. There's a very high chance that I will not be able to beat this playthrough, at least on the first attempt. I mean, look at my first couple Modjam playthroughs. The first Modjam run died because I was still using the Nexus version, and it wasn't being supported anymore and all that stuff, and by the time it got a workshop release, I decided to stick with the Nexus version, and lo and behold, my game got soft-locked because it kept crashing, so I decided to scrap it. My second Modjam run died because of the Chosen Adventure Defense triggered, and I wasn't prepared for it. I didn't have the tech level for it, therefore we died, and I just went back to base XCOM 2 after that. So I do not have a lot of experience with Long War of the Chosen. Technically, a lot of people do suggest to not play Tedjam, Modjam, whatever the fuck jam we're on right now, but without playing a Long War of the Chosen version. But I have seen so many playthroughs of Long War of the Chosen at this point. I think it's going to be boring compared to what Modjam has to offer. So that's that's mainly why I want to just say fuck it, we ball. That's essentially my approach to this, is fuck it, we ball. And just accept the fact that I am going to be absolute shit at the game. But hopefully things still work out and stuff a little bit. Like, I'm expecting a failure, obviously, going into this, but that doesn't mean I'm still not going to try my damnedest, right? Now, the main thing to note is that not only do I want to do a pre-campaign setup video and all that stuff, but I also want to do a couple disclaimers before we actually start the playthrough, for those of you that care, which is the only reason why I'm doing this, because let's be honest, I only have a very minimally modified version of the original Tedjam stuff. Like, there's obviously all my cosmetic and voice pack mods, but those don't change the gameplay at all. I only have about 4 mods that change the core gameplay compared to usual Tedjam. So that's that's part 1 of the disclaimers. Part 2 is a bunch of settings that I change and stuff like that in the game once we actually get into it. And those settings include a bunch of second wave options, because a big part of at least the base game Tedjam is that it has a lot of little optional stuff that you can trigger to either make it harder or easier or harder for you. I do a lot of the stuff that makes it easier just because I want to give myself a fighting chance here, and a lot of them are going to be quote-unquote controversial changes. Even the mods that I have enabled besides Tedjam is also going to be a bit, I guess, for lack of a better word, controversial to a lot of people. Which is why I want to say that if that already doesn't sound like something you would enjoy, I can only recommend you go to a different XCOM channel like Dureva, Tedster, fucking Episode Zero, Mobzir, all those people play Mod Jam kind of the way it's meant to be played instead of basically going on easy mode. So yeah, if that's something that you guys are turned off by, gives you the ick, whatever, just leave now. Alright, just, I don't want to fucking hear it. Because I'm not gonna let random people on the internet dictate how I'm going to play a single player game online and stuff. So yeah, whatever. So that's my disclaimer. But so if you guys are still here watching this, then obviously you're at least somewhat interested. But hopefully that scares off all of the hardcore fucking XCOM people, because I know that there's a lot of those, especially on the Long War of the Chosen Discord. But anyway, back to part one of the disclaimer, or the second wave options. And the biggest thing is that I turn off chosen reactions, because I just couldn't be fucking bothered dealing with it. However, I do still have Requiem enabled. I am running Requiem only because, besides the weird Requiem corrosion shit they got going on, they're pretty much just prime enemies from a better admin, which is also part of the reason why I'm turning off chosen reactions, because I don't want them taking an action every fucking time, but I don't mind non-chosen enemies doing that. And it's also cool to see all of the XCOM 1 aliens be recreated in XCOM 2. I think that's all neat and nifty, and I want to see that during my playthrough. Now, obviously, there's going to be legates and mectopedes and all that shit, but we're just going to cross that bridge when we get there. Or, console commander way out of that situation when we get there. So yeah, chosen reactions are off. Resistance orders are on, because I don't feel like they're that overpowered. I don't know why Long War of the Chosen turned them off to begin with. I don't think they're that bad, but at least there's an option to turn it back on. So yeah, I'm doing that simply because I want to. We're also going to have Lengthy Scheme enabled. Now, technically, Long War of the Chosen already has its own version of Lengthy Scheme enabled by default, just because of the way the Avatar project works. It's a little bit different. You gotta liberate a region and all that stuff, and you can't just destroy a facility in order to remove pips. Removing pips is very difficult in Long War of the Chosen. You can only really slow it down and not completely remove it. But I'm essentially enabling lengthier scheme because A, I'm scared of the Avatar project in Long War of the Chosen, and B, the same reason I do it in base game XCOM 2, I don't want to be forced to end the campaign early if we do get that far, right? I want to be able to play at my own pace without having a fucking Doom timer counting down in the background. And that's pretty much it for second wave options. I mean, I could turn on Templar Ally at the start because Templars are fucking cracked in in the Mod Jam environment, but I might keep it random just for shits and giggles. So yeah, that's the first half of the controversial changes I'm doing. The second half are the 4 mods that I have enabled. One of the big ones being Hack Plus, which pretty much, as a soldier gets hack rewards or just attempts hacking, they get bonus hack score based on if they beat the hack or fail the hack. That makes any fucking unit with any hacker gremlin bit class with full overdrive insanely powerful in the late game, because it makes mechs and stuff super easy to hack. I haven't been able to get a sectopod with it yet though, but I have been able to get some pretty beefy variants like the military mechs and the bio mechs and all that stuff. So it is a very hefty change. But to be fair, with the fact that the Barrier Dark event is permanent and basically guaranteed to happen at some point in your campaign, I think it's a way for hacking classes to keep up, because without Hack Plus, I don't care about Gremlin classes. Like, yeah, sure, they have ranged hacking, but you're not going to get any of the rewards anyway, because the fucking hack defense is insanely buffed in the Mod Jam environment. So without it, I just don't want to use gremlin classes. And again, that's just my personal preference on how to play. Speaking of my personal preference on how to play, I do have Peek from Concealment. That's still here. As well as the UI mod for Gotcha, again, to not have the detection tiles show up. And all that fun stuff. So if we have high ground towards an enemy or high cover towards an enemy, we won't reveal, which is nice for at the start of the campaign for scouting, or if you have like a concealed trench gun unit, then you can get a decent ambush, or like a arsonist or whatever with the flamethrower, you can get a decent ambush in and all that stuff without wasting your turn essentially trying to, but failing and all that stuff. And I also have simple true concealment enabled, but I don't think it does anything in Modjam, to be honest. And if it does, it's only like a select couple class or mission types that it actually works on. I haven't seen it work very often, because especially on extraction missions and jailbreak missions, you still have the timer counting down. But normally on those missions, you have anywhere from like 15 to fucking 30 turns to get to extraction anyway. So if you're taking 30 turns to do a VIP extraction mission, you're doing something wrong at that point, even by my standards. So it's not that big of a deal. It is a bit annoying for the sabotage transmitter missions, but I don't think People Concealment even worked with that mission in base for the Chosen anyway. So I mean, I think it might work for hacking missions, but even then, I'm not too sure. So yeah, that it's there. I just don't know if it's doing anything. And regardless of that, that's pretty much it in terms of what we're doing. Will be a bunch of links in the description below. There'll be the standard Tedjam Steam Workshop collection for those of you only interested in Tedjam. If you guys are interested in what cosmetic, voice pack, and other quality of life stuff that I'm using, my custom Modlist will be down there too, as well as a link to my Discord, because if anybody's interested in joining the character pool, your best bet is going to the Xcom 2 chat of my Discord server all the way at the bottom and submitting a request there, because I will not be taking requests live on Twitch, because I don't want to be spending half an hour fine-tuning a character to somebody's specific wants. Because I've done that before, and I just don't want to do it again. So I won't, at least not live on Twitch. And if any suggestions do come up, I will try to do them before the stream. Or if they happen in the middle of the campaign, I'll try to do it in between streams. However, once I don't necessarily play favorites, once you're in the pool, it's up to RNG if you show up, and I have a lot of characters in the pool, from both the chat submitted stuff, as well as it's 90% my own characters, because my community's really small and I don't have that many characters in the pool anyway. And if somebody submits a character but doesn't show up afterwards for like if they show up once to submit a character but then don't show up again for the rest of the campaign, and the campaign ends without them showing up again, hanging out in chat or YouTube or Discord or something, then most of the time their character gets thrown into the AWOL soldiers pool, and because just so they don't take up a slot for a potentially active viewer and stuff like that. So yeah, there's that. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say there. So I hope you guys are excited for the next playthrough. I know I am. I got pretty far in my testing campaign, but I'm gonna be honest, it's because I cheated the fuck out of it. If somebody missed like a 95% chance, I'd give them action points until they hit it. If I activated the entire map in a single blue move, I reloaded the save the previous turn. And don't even get me started on the fucking invasion missions. Those are fucking ridiculous, man. I see Durava or somebody else play it, and it seems not bad. But when I play it, it's like 3 turns in, and they're already spamming reinforcements, and I just get completely overwhelmed, and I can't do shit about it. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see how far we get. I'll try not to save scum and be a cheating little bastard as much as I can. But I am not above bullshitting the game when it bullshits me. I am not an honest man player. I'm better than what I used to when I first started playing Xcom before War of the Chosen even came up. I used to be one of those people where every time a soldier died, I fucking reloaded the turn and did things differently and tried to keep everybody alive and stuff. As long as I don't feel bullshitted and cheesed by the game, then I won't cheese it back. But the moment the game pulls some fuck shit, I am whipping out the console or the fucking reload save button. I do not care. I am a shameless save scummer. Whatever. Like I said at the start, if you don't like that playstyle, if you want honest man stuff, then you're at the wrong fucking channel, bud. So, that being said, I am done yapping. I do need to go to bed since I work tomorrow and all that fun stuff at the time of recording this. And I will see you guys next time.